Commence primary ignition.
I want to play CIS now.
Gonna buy a whole nother faction now.
How many fire sprays should I buy? I'm a brand new player.
At least 4 of them.
Zan Wessel is my favorite character from the movies.
No, what I was gonna say is I was actually gonna argue that like the old buyer's guide from like even like a 2.0 or even like 1.0 are still kind of right in that like the old advice is still the same advice. Just buy the ship that looks cool to you. Go to a store, you see a cool ship that you kind of sort of like, get it. Well, why not? If it's a cool ship. Like my first separatist ship was a tri-fighter because Complete Strategist just had one lying on the racks, and I was like, shout out to Complete Strategist.
So cool.
And I got a
I
tri-fighter.
love Complete Strategist, and I love the tri-fighter.
Yeah, and then I was like toying around with like getting more into a separatist, and I bought an HMP offline, I think. And
Hump
this
droid?
was the HMP.
I call it the hump droid.
Yeah.
The Roombas?
The Roomba, the
little
little
Roomba,
Oreos,
The gunship, the droid gunship.
Yep. And this was like right as 2.5 came out, which if you remember or not, tri-fighters and HMPs were just not played. They were too expensive. They were 5 points each.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
It was not a good time.
And they got 3 hull.
Yeah.
Not a great time to be a droid player.
Back then, you could bring shield upgrade and hull upgrade, but like it's still not great. It was not good.
Mm-hmm.
But those were my first CIS ships, and they were not particularly playable. But I still got into it. And hey, look who's laughing now! Look with like with all the HMP spam lists and all the tri-fighter spam lists, and they're a lot of fun.
You were ahead of the game, man.
To play. It's a great time to play X-Wing right now, I think.
I agree.
You're ahead of the game, and you're right.
I don't even play HMP. I don't even own an HMP. I still
you're right. Like if you're out there, guys, and you're like, man, I don't know about this ship, but damn, it looks cool. Freaking buy it. Just buy it.
100%. Yes, I totally adhere to rule of cool. Yes,
the paint jobs are all excellent. That wherever they're making the minis and stuff, they do an excellent job. They look great on a shelf. They look great on a desk. It's X-Wing collectibles. X-Wing as like miniatures as collectibles are cool. They're fun. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, no, super great.
Outside of that, go ahead. Like, would you recommend? Because I always think like that Servants of Strife thing. Probably right?
You got it. Yeah, I mean that. I think the 3-ship pack for every faction is a must.
Is a must,
right?
You're as a new player, you're trying to get to 20 points of squad of value as quickly as possible, and getting that three ship squad pack. For whatever faction you're playing is like the thing to do. Well,
it's a great, it's the same cost as the Guardians of the Republic, right? So you're still talking roughly $40, and that comes with General Grievous. Like that's the big one for me.
It comes with Grievous, who has been a long staple in the Separatist faction for a long time. He's a good pilot. He's a good ship. The upgrades he can bring on that thing just make it are really, really strong.
The beast.
He's a little tiny bit less as strong as he was in a previous patch, but he's still a monster. The opponent still has to deal with them.
Yeah, he's still ridiculous.
And Servants of Strife comes with 2 vultures, which is like the bread and butter of the faction who's made to be the swarm faction. Even though other factions nowadays kind of do the swarm thing a little better than CIS, but hey. It's still 2 vultures. You will want them if you want to get into CIS, and getting Servants of Strife, getting 2 Servants of Strife actually makes sense just to get more vultures on the table.
Interesting.
vultures. There is a solo vulture expansion, and the only thing you get in the solo vulture expansion is 311, which is the vulture pilot who can pass a calculate token range 3. Really good ability, amazing ability. It's like a Palpatine.
Is he worth $20 to a new player?
311. That one pilot is 3 points right now in the squad builder, and no vulture is worth 3 points. You will not bring 311 unless you're doing something very, very specific and janky, which is super fun. It's very cool. It's a really cool pilot, but 3-point vultures is a really big, tough ask. I don't recommend getting the single vulture expansion unless you really, really want 311, which you might, or you want
the alternate paint job, right?
Yeah, if you want the brown vulture paint job, which is, I love it. It's great. Grab it.
It's iconic.
And you got $20 to burn. Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. But otherwise, you should get the Servants of Strife. It's around $40 on sale. It goes down to like $30. I've seen it go down to like $25. Servants of Strife should be the first thing maybe second thing you buy. First thing you should buy is actually the Fire Spray. That's
really, you think Fire Spray for a new player? New CIS guy?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me why.
Django
Fett. Come on.
Django Fett. Yes. So one, Django Fett is 8 points. He is the highest cost squad value in the squad builder at the moment for CIS. So you're going to get to 20 points faster if you have Django in your list and you're building around Django.
Is that where does Count Dooku Crew come in that box as well, or no?
It does not. He does not.
Bummer.
Yeah, I know. It does, however, come with Suppressive Gunner, which is the discount version of Force. So you can still kind of have that same play style. And it also synergizes with Django's high initiative. It's pretty decent on him. So you can still build around. You can still build a scary Fire Spray.
Well, I mean, this is hopefully the information for a player who wants to play locally. This is not information for someone trying to go to Worlds.
Of course. But winning is fun.
It sure is.
The Fire Spray is one of, if not the most bestest chassis in the game.
Factions,
and it's like really difficult to balance from a game dev's perspective because it just does a lot of things really, really well.
Sure,
it's iconic.
And
benefit while you can.
And you will win games solely because the Fire Spray and Django is good, even when you might not deserve it. I know I have. I know I have won games just because Django is good. But as far as like you're trying to get into the faction and you will get 20 points as fast as possible, Fire Spray and Servants of Strife. That's 8 points for Django, 5 points for Grievous, and then 2 and 2 for the 2 vultures. So you're at 17 points now. You got 3 points. You got 3 points. You can for a ship
bomber.
You've got 3 choices. You can go, and this is purely on flavor. You can whatever your local game store has. You can either go Hyena Bomber. You can either go the Tri-Fighter, or you can go the HMP. All of them have great three cost. All of them have great 3 cost options, and all of them are fantastic. Hyenas were like my favorite ship last points because primarily the bombardment drones. Droids. Yeah. Whatever, the ones that like throw the pizza pies in the face. Bombardment
drone.
Drones.
I'm looking at a drone.
And I'm the CIS expert here.
Yeah,
that's close.
You can throw an electro-proton bomb in front of you.
That's right, you can.
Then I think they should also look into getting on top of those, which is great, but also getting what the Republic thing, which also has the CIS stuff, the Siege of Coruscant.
Well, that's an interesting question that I have for Vlad. If you decide you don't want the bombardment drone, right? Do you want to pick up Siege of Coruscant as an early buy? No, right?
So hold
So
on.
you
One,
get it
the
anyway.
Hyena
Yeah,
Bomber. Out of the three options, the Hyena, the Tri-Fighter, and the HMP, the Bomber is probably the worst one.
Okay.
I'd far more recommend the
think so,
Tri-Fighter.
huh?
Or
Wow.
yeah, right. With how points are right now, yeah, I do. Sadly, I'm very sad about that. But it means I can play my Tri-Fighters. It means I can play my HMPs. So
Yeah. Well, so Siege of Coruscant has Tri-Fighter options that are good.
They do. Yep.
Right. And it has DBS 404 for the Bomber, which is good.
It does.
And they do have there are some of the Siege of Coruscant vultures as well, although I haven't looked at them, so I don't know.
311.
They're not particularly great. No,
They're not.
Where's the Iron one coming? Is that in the Hot Shots?
Hot Shots and
Hot Shots,
Iron
got it.
Symbol,
Yeah.
who's great, but that's a $20 pack for maybe a single card, basically.
There's Dirge is in there as well, but if you want Dirge, you're gonna have to get the Rogue expansion as well, which is another big ask.
See, I don't think that's bad, man. The Rogue, I would put Rogue Squadron up pretty high up there.
Well, but remember the Rogue class doesn't come with Dirge. You have to buy Rogue class, and then you have to buy.
You get
Shots.
you get Cab Bane, and you get a few IG
Magnus,
robots.
Magnus?
Yeah, the Magnus are not
which are cool.
Great. They're cool.
I know.
They're
I mean, the
cool.
ship is cool, right? And Cad Bane is cool in CIS. But I like what Vlad has pointed us down here with this kind of, because you're going to end up with a 5-ship build, right? That's going to feel strong because Grievous is there, Django is there.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like you have enough bodies for objective play with the vultures.
Yeah.
And then that last flavor to taste option is really good because, you get a bomber, you get a Tri-Fighter, or you get an HMP. He was saying, like, I really like that idea.
Yeah,
and again,
bomber,
you walk into the store with a 5-ship list, and one of them's a fire spray. Like that's gonna be you're gonna get a feel for the game that way and find out what you like, right?
The flavor to taste is also a great way to describe it. The bomber acts kind of as an upgraded vulture. It's kind of like a bruiser.
That's
vulture
true.
With more,
you don't have enough of
missiles.
Yeah.
The Tri-Fighter is like an AC flanker ship that you just like stick in a corner, and it just kind of goes where it doesn't belong, and gets a really, really sneaky kill on something.
Mm-hmm.
And the HMP is just a big tanky platform that just shoots things and just kills things. Whatever.
It moves very cool though. Has very cool movement.
Moves really, really cool. Yeah.
Unconventional movement.
I want to point out cost-wise where we're coming in here, right? Servants of Strife is going to run you $40. Django's going to run you $30. This is all miniature market prices, $30. And then your flavor to taste one is going to be another $20, right? That puts you at $90, right? So under $100, you have playable ships in a faction. If you wanted to spend what you're spending as a new Republic player, like in our example there, you're spending, you could buy 2 more ships. Like you could buy a bomber, you could buy an HMP, you could buy 2 HMPs, right? You could buy one of all 3. Like you could try these different ships, see what you like, and end up not spending a huge amount of money. You could buy a second fire spray, right? Like if you wanted to do double fire spray stuff, which is which is currently semi-viable, right?
Also, both Republic and CIS have don't have a crazy amount of ships variety as well. So it's also entirely possible to slowly and feasibly get all the ships in the faction. That's entirely realistic.
Absolutely, yeah. I still don't own every Rebel ship. Like I don't own an Ozatok.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever will because I have no interest in it.
If it comes back,
especially the unreleased ships, forget about it.
Yeah. When we're talking standard play,
I know.
It is really easy to grab to buy into these factions fully. Anyway, this was great. Vlad, thank you so much for joining us to give us this insight into CIS. I am positive there are Republic and CIS primary players out there who are seething mad at me for my terrible list building advice and opinions. And I want to let you know that I want to validate you. You are right and I am wrong. But if you want to send your suggestions to us of a better modified buyer's guide for Republic or CIS players, please send us an email, YetAnotherXwingPod.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Vlad.
I know you're wrapping up, but like,
I am.
if that's that's the stuff you're going to be inviting, we have to talk about the Sith Infiltrator. There's because like all the Force.
Let's talk to me about the Sith Infiltrator. Let's go.
Sith Infiltrator. If you, for whatever reason, you can't find a Django fire spray, a Separatist fire spray, either like at your stores or like you don't find one on sale, just get the Infiltrator. There's like lots of really cool stuff in there. There's really cool stuff in there.
And it's tanky also. Good for
it's
the
kind of tanky.
Player, you know?
It does have a big target on its head, but it has a cloaking action. And so like a big thing about it is that you fly in, you do some damage, everybody wants to shoot you, and then you cloak and you run away. And then you have 3 dice, you have 3 green dice, you've got force, you've got ways to like be even more like annoying. You've got people forget
also iconic ship from the movies.
Yeah, people forget you have a barrel roll, and people forget you have a 5K on a large base ship.
Fuck, never forget that.
Sith Infiltrator is cool. It is
extremely cool. Thank you. I appreciate the interruption because I love the Sith Infiltrator.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling iconic, you could use Count Dooku or Darth Maul. Pretty popular characters.
Oh, I
never heard of them.
Talk about relays. I didn't even talk about the relays, but the relays is a whole other can of worms. Basically,
don't the relays come in Servants of Strife or no?
There's one in Servants of Strife. There's one with the Infiltrator. There's a few other ones. There's one with the HMP expansion. I don't have the Wikipedia in front of me, but
it's also for
people. The TLDR Separatist faction has a whole lot of synergy mechanics within itself, especially with the robots within the Separatists.
The robots in disguise, yes.
Yeah, more so than other factions might have synergy with themselves. It's just we don't see that all too often, sadly. There's so many cool synergy options and like building and theory crafting within Separatists, but so often we just see blue scum lists. We just see bounty hunters that just happen to have the Separatist logo painted on top of them. But there's really cool stuff that Separatists have.
Yeah, it is fun. There's stuff where you could keep tokens, where if it's in the bullseye, you get to take one of their tokens or add an attack. Yeah. So it's a fun faction, everyone.
It is a fun faction. I only got to the CIS in the past year, and I've really enjoyed them. What was I wrapping up with? Oh, yeah, you sent us an email, yetanotherxwingpod@gmail.com. Tell me I'm wrong. I'd be happy to read other list building advice, other early purchase decision advice. Try to keep it budget friendly. Try to keep it new player friendly. Like, there's a reason I'm not out here necessarily saying, rule of cool is king. I'm with that. If you have favorite ship, buy your favorite ship, fly your favorite ship. I don't disagree with that at all. 100% I believe in that. But like, I'm not over here saying like, you guys got to pick up a Nantex because like a Nantex, like Sunfac's incredible, but like it's a weird ship. It's kind of difficult to fly. It's kind of fragile sometimes. It's a weird ship, right? And it's like, and if you're new to X-Wing, it's like, don't buy a Nantex unless you're like you got your tattoo of Geonosis on your chest or something like that. Like, don't buy the Nantex, right? Buy it after you've bought this other stuff and have played a bunch of X-Wing, right? Then buy the Nantex, right?
Playing Nantex is playing hard mode. It's really, really fun, but all it takes is one bad roll, it feels. But I'm bad at the game also. I don't know. I tried my go at Sunfac. I had to put him down.
You had to show
when he works though, it's like you feel like $1 million.
It's when it works, it's gross. It's really
the nice ship you have there. It'd be a real shame if someone tractored it.
Oh,
just absolute deletion. It's gross. Yeah, it's
The Nantex is famous for being the ship that inspired immediate rule changes. More than one change to the rules of the game happened because of the Nantex. Like it's good stuff. Sorry. The last thing I wanted to do, just speaking of emails. Burr, burr, burr.